Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Caleb, and today I'm going to bring you guys another tutorial on how to code some APIs through YouTube. And let's go ahead and get started coding our first API. We want to go to Codecademy, and there'll be a link in the description down below. And we'll be using JavaScript to code our API. So this first tutorial will go over how to use the APIs, and then further in-depth videos will be on actual coding the API. Let's go ahead and get started. What is HTTP? HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is a protocol that pretty much makes up the whole internet. And long story short, you would want to read all the stuff to the left, and it talks about HTTP. And to pass this exercise, you just want to click Run. And we're going to go ahead and click OK. Now, this is just explaining more things, more in depth about HTTP and how it can grab information and whatnot. And it talks about how HTTP is a server and how HTTP interacts with clients. So once again, just go ahead and click the Run button to pass this exercise. So now it's going to go ahead and talk about REST, which is Representational State Transfer. But don't worry, that pretty much means nothing at all.
Logan, can you set your alarm?
What you want to do here is giving you a question. It's saying, you, the client, make an HTTP request. What happens? Does it go to the internet, the world, the server, or the waiter? What responds? The correct answer is C. So make sure to type this in as a string. Also put a little quote around it, and make sure don't forget your semicolon. Go ahead and click on the next link. Now guys, I'm breezing by these just because mainly these are just for a lot of reading. Now it's going in more depth to talk about APIs, and pretty much all you have to do from this one is just read all the information on the left hand side and click Run once again. And we're going to start our next section. Alright, so now we're on our request. On line 1 we've created an XHR variable which sends our XML HTTP request. On line 2 we've actually made the request, which is getting from Codecademy, and defaults just means that it's waiting for a response from the server. And it says on lines 4 it wants us to use the .send method to send the request. So to do this, we want to type xhr.send, put the parentheses to send our method. Then what we want to do, we want to write our information out by using console.log so we can check the statuses of what happened to our request. So console.log, and then in the parentheses you want to use xhr.status and semicolon, and then console.log once again to get the XHR status. Let's say status text, and make sure to have the T in text capitalized. Now we're going to go ahead and click Run, and what this will do, it will give us a 200 and OK. So you'll learn about the 200 and the OK later on in the exercises. Let's go ahead and click Next for right now. For verbs, the GET retrieves information from the specified source. The POST sends new information from the specified source. PUT updates existing information of the specified source. And delete removes the information. So all we have to do here is just go ahead and click Run, and we'll pass this test. But make sure to read everything on the left hand side. And keep reading more on the left hand side. It will further explain how get, post, and delete and whatnot are all different, and it gives you perfect examples So once again, just go ahead and click run to pass this test. And moving forward, we are finally getting to another trivia question. And it talks a little bit about endpoints right here on the left hand side. But the answer to the trivia question, what are the 4 commonly used HTTP method, or known as verbs? And it's obviously D, the get, post, put, and delete. So go ahead and type in the string D and go ahead and run it. Now it's going to talk a little about the authentication keys and API keys, which the API keys is just a really long key, which is the string right here. And what this will do, this will authenticate the API and your application so it knows you're not doing anything miscellaneous. And it also has an OAuth, so for example, if you were to log into a website such as Facebook, that would be a perfect example of OAuth authentication. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll begin our next section, the response. Now I'm going to go ahead and reset mine. And a successful request to the server results in a response. And this is where you get the 200 code from earlier. And pretty much the 100 code, which you won't see very often, means that you've got it. Like the server has found it, everything's 100% successful. The 200 or 2XX means that it's okay. The server sends when it's successfully responding back to your request. The 300 means I can do it what you want, but it's going to have to take some time. For example, if the DNS server was to be forwarded, if they were to change domains, it would have to go to the first server and then get exchanged and go to the second server. So it sends you back the code 303, and that will just mean it's going to take a minute for you to get your information back. The 4XX means that you probably made a mistake, which the most common one is a 404 error, meaning files not found. And the 5XX, if you ever get a 5, it means the server goofed up and it simply can't respond back, in other words. So it wants us to go ahead and call status on XHR and console.log it. So what we want to do, we want to type console.log, and we want to check our xhr.status. Go ahead and run that. And as you can see, we're getting a 404 file not found because this file does not exist. It is made up in our request. And go ahead and go to the anatomy of space or response. Now it's going to talk a little bit about HTTP up here. Not very much, but just go ahead and read that. Go ahead and click run. Now it's going to talk a little bit more about XML, which is over here to the right hand side. Or really it's on the left hand side. This is XML. It uses tags, and you can make up these tags that normally tags are W3C decided on, such as HTML tags and whatnot. But go ahead and read this and just go ahead and click run once again. Now it's going to compare the XML to JSON, which is JavaScript object notation, which is the same exact thing as XML and how it's all marked up, except without the tags it's using curly braces because that's what Java uses. It's all curly braces. And what we want to do here is just simply click the run button to continue. And as you can see, it's just printing out our JSON. So it's created a new variable demo, which equals a JSON, and then the JSON equals the praise demo. And this is just pretty much saying that it's going to write out the demo onto the screen. So that's why when you look in your console, you get your JSON. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. So this is pretty much done for this exercise, and you just go ahead and click run once again. Just make sure to read everything on the left hand side. I'm breezing by just to get this video up and out. But now it's time to take a quiz. And before you go and look at all the answers, just go and ask yourselves, what HTTP is a protocol that connects clients and what? Obviously the correct answer is servers. And you want to make sure that you put the S on servers, because earlier I put it just server and I got it wrong, and I was like, I didn't understand why I got it wrong, but capitalization doesn't matter in this one either. The 4 HTTP methods are get, post, put, and delete. A error means the server goofed up, and that's the 500 error. And if you're having trouble, always click the show hint down here in the bottom right hand corner, or left hand corner. And this will always give you nice helpful hints. So clicking run, we're getting it correct. We're moving on to the next exercise. I'm going to go ahead and reset mine. And it says, create a variable called XHR and set it to equal new XML HTTP request. So let's just go ahead and do this by typing var XHR equals new. Make sure the capitalization is correct also. XML HTTP and then request. Put your parentheses and your semicolon. And now it wants us to open our request, and to do this we're going to just type xhr.open open parenthesis, and we're going to name the type of our connection, which is get. Make sure to put a comma. Actually, you don't even need a comma. And then what you do is just type in the HT. I'm going to copy and paste this. Copy, comma, paste, comma, and then false, if I could spell. And make sure to put a semicolon at the end. I don't know why I said you didn't need a comma. I don't know what I'm thinking. You do need a comma between everything. As you can see right there, make sure to put those commas and semicolons at the end, or else you're going to get an error. And then it wants us to send, and then they've already taken care of the console.logs for us. So we just type xhr.send, and since it's a method, we're going to add our parameters, and go ahead and click run. And as you can see, we got the 200 and the OK, so everything was good. So let's go ahead and go to the next exercise. This is another trivia question here. What's an API key? It's an alphanumeric string used to identify you to an API. And pretty much just type in A as a string and click run, and we'll be moving on to XML and JSON. And I want to say this is just another question, which it is, and it's asking you what kind of markup is this? Is it XML or is it JSON? And it's obviously not XML, because as you can see, this has curly braces and XML has tags. For example, XML has these tags, and you can name it whatever. I can name it op, and then you close the tag op, just like that. That would be XML. And to make a proper comment is 2 backslashes. So go ahead and click run, and make sure down here in the bottom you put in the correct answer. And then that's pretty much it for the review for this, and just click run again, and you completed the course, and you go on to start the next course. And this is what we'll pick up next time, guys. Until next time, make sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, peace.